They always said I'm wrong, but what they doing today? I think they want me gone, but I ain't going away. They told me I was wrong, but look at my ass today. Da 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 da.
Yo guys, what's going on? I'm Tim Kelly. He's Justin Godsey of the Nation Sports Blog. This is the Real Sports Talk. Thank you for tuning in. Hit the subscribe button while you're here. Josh Hamilton signs a 5-year, $125 million deal with the Los Angeles Angels. He will leave the Texas Rangers for a divisional team. We're going to get a little bit more in depth with that. I know I covered that a little bit earlier, but we're going to talk more in depth about that now. Ryan Dempster is headed to the Boston Red Sox. Ichiro Suzuki turned down a few other offers. He's going to return to the Yankees. And Mike Napoli, there's been some questions about a failed physical, and maybe he won't end up going to the Red Sox. We'll give you an update on that. But first, we're going to talk about this Angels versus Rangers dynamic, and really an Angels versus Rangers thing that is becoming a rivalry in my mind, not only on the field, but for players. And when you see the guy who is the best player on the Texas Rangers in Josh Hamilton, a former MVP, last year hit 40-plus home runs, including 4 home runs in one game against the Baltimore Orioles, leave and sign with the divisional team, it certainly leads you to think that you're going to see a rivalry between these two teams. Josh Hamilton signs a 5-year, $125 million deal. Reportedly, Josh Hamilton had told the Rangers all along he would give them a chance to match any offer before signing with the team. GM John Daniels of the Texas Rangers said he did not do that. Justin, I don't think Josh Hamilton owed the Texas Rangers a thing. I understand why they didn't want to bring him back because of all the issues that he reportedly has. Danny Nobler of CBS basically told us that they almost have to babysit him. But at the same time, you know, I'll call up a few babysitters if it gives me 40-plus home runs every season, and the Angels are willing to do that. Josh Hamilton did not owe the Rangers anything because they didn't come in aggressively trying to sign him.
This was a really interesting trade because when you looked at this, the Los Angeles Angels have in the past acquired former Texas Rangers stars like C.J. Wilson last year. The play that really comes to mind. Now, Josh Hamilton coming to the Angels, like you said, I would babysit Josh Hamilton for close to 40 home runs a year. This is what is really intriguing. When you're looking at the depth chart for this Los Angeles Angels team, you got Mike Trout, Peter Borges, and you'll also have Mark Trumbo, who this guy can even play at the first base position. Now, discussing on who's more than likely going to be out, Tim, before the video we talked about Vernon Wells, we talked about Peter Borges. Now, I feel this is a gut feeling that someone has got to go because, you know what, this minor league farm system, the Angels are getting a really set in stone on one of former Arizona State's outfielders. Cole Calhoun has been really productive down their minor league system, has really dominated the whole minor league system, has really brought his way up to the major league last season, which was a really interesting story. But placing Josh Hamilton is going to be really questionable. Is he going to play center? Is he going to play right? But you know what? It's a good deal. The Angels have just came in out of random, like out of today. It's like we never got something go on set in stone. And any rumors or anything, MLB trade rumors probably didn't report it. Like Roto World's what I use, they didn't report it. And the Angels just came in here, took Josh Hamilton out of thin air.
Well, MLB trade rumors, and I looked back a few hours prior to it. Ben Nicholson-Smith, I'll give him credit, of MLB trade rumors, made a report that they were that the Angels were positioning for a big move, and he made the guess. I'll read this directly off. This is speculation on my part, but it's possible Artie Moreno, the owner, and Jerry DiPoto, the GM, decided to pursue Hamilton now that the market for the free agent center fielder appears to be limited to 3- and 4-year opportunities. They come in and they make the big splash by giving him the 5-year deal. The Phillies could have done it. The Mariners, I think if they had come in with 5 years, 125, he probably takes it. And instead, the Angels come in for the second offseason and shock the world and sign the biggest free agent out there when really we got no indication throughout the entire process that they were going to be the team that was going to do it.
Yeah, you're looking at Los Angeles baseball here. I'm talking both the Angels and the Dodgers. It's going to be a big fanfare right now because, you know what, before this Josh Hamilton deal went down, so many fans are deciding to go and watch the Dodgers because, you know what, this team has gotten so much great talent. They got, Carl Crawford, they got Kemp, Andre Ethier. I mean, the list just keeps on going on and on. But Josh Hamilton is also going to be aiding with this team's season tickets, and this is going to line up to automatically win this division. I have confidence with the signing of Hamilton. You got Mike Trout, who has been phenomenal last season. You got Trumbo. And this team is just an all-star team, kind of like the Dodgers right now.
Well, and the fact that you're going to have Josh Hamilton and Albert Pujols in the same lineup, just those two alone, and then you remember, oh yeah, by the way, we have an all-star in Mark Trumbo, assuming he doesn't get traded, which isn't anything certain, and we have last year's MVP runner-up, probably the best overall player in the game last year, Mike Trout. To have them all in the same lineup, then you look around this lineup, you have other guys like Kendry Morales, if he doesn't get traded, Peter Borges, if he doesn't get traded, you have that option, Howie Kendrick, Eric Ibar. You have so many options on this team. It's going to be a deep lineup. And the thing is, if you look at what they've done with their rotation, yeah, they lost Zach Greinke, okay, but he didn't go to Texas in their own division. And instead, they still have Jared Weaver, they have C.J. Wilson, they added Tommy Hanson, which I think is the most under-the-radar move this offseason. Joe Blanton, Garrett Richards. This team looks stacked. Their bullpen, they add a closer in Ryan Madsen coming off Tommy John surgery. I think that was a nice pickup. So overall, they look good. Now, if you go over to the Texas side, a team that a few months ago just had this stacked lineup. They had prospects continuing to filter in. All of a sudden, doesn't look too hot. You lose Josh Hamilton, you lose Mike Napoli, you trade Michael Young, and you're looking at a very young lineup that features a catcher who hit 197 last year, and a few players like Craig Gentry that you're just not very sure of. And to top it all off, you were never very sure of what you had in this rotation.
No doubt. You're also got to bring up the Ian Kinsler story because the Rangers at one point really looked at it like, okay, we don't have a solid first baseman. We got Mike Olt, who is more than likely playing the DH role this year. You're going to move Ian Kinsler over to second and possibly bring up Jerks and Profar. Ian Kinsler is not a fan of this deal right now. And I've been predicting, like, okay, if Ian Kinsler does go to first base and he's on the depth chart, he is at first base, and after his contract runs out, I have a gut feeling that he is not going to return to the Texas Rangers. So what's reporting right now that the Texas Rangers are like, okay, we're more than likely going to be keeping Ian Kinsler because Ian Kinsler is a guy that the Texas Rangers cannot give away at all. So what they're going to be doing is right now they're attacking the free agent market, and what is reporting right now, coming from rotoworld.com, is announcing that Adam LaRoche is more than likely going to be signing, or is rumored to be signing, with the Texas Rangers on a 3-year contract. So he's going to be bringing something really interesting to the plate. Last year with the Washington Nationals, LaRoche had a phenomenal year, had he got a Silver Slugger Award winner. Last year, 33 home runs, 100 RBIs, 271 batting average. That is really solid to put at first base.
Yeah, it is. There's actually a conflicting report with that. Mark Zuckerman of CSNWashington.com has said that, yeah, they're willing to potentially offer 3 years in this deal, but according to Adam Kilgore of the Washington Post, the Rangers are going to look at other options, so there's really no guarantee with Adam LaRoche. They lost Mike Napoli, who, yeah, he probably got paid a little bit too much, but man, to have him at catcher right now and also as an option at first base, it would have given you a lot more stability. I think they tried to lowball Josh Hamilton. They made him angry, which he should be. He's done a lot for that team. It's been the most successful 4 or 5 year run in the history of the franchise, and they did not treat him well. I understand he has the issues off the field. I understand everything with that, but the numbers are the numbers. When he goes out, he wins an MVP. He helps lead you to 2 World Series. I mean, they didn't win them, but they went to 2 World Series, and one they were a strike away 2 times from winning, and then you act like that towards him, he's not going to be happy, and he really does not owe you to come back and say, the Angels are offering me 5 years, are you going to do it? I think if he had done that, especially knowing that it's the Angels, the Rangers might have got desperate to the point where they would have given him a 6-year deal, but I think he was so angry with how things had gone down that he just said, you know, I'm going to go to the Angels. This is a place where I have a chance to be more successful at this point anyway. I'm not going to be asked to do everything on the line. I'm not that he was in Texas, but man, even if Josh Hamilton struggles, you have Mike Trout, Albert Pujols, Howie Kendrick, Mark Trumbo. You have a great lineup around you, and all of a sudden Texas's lineup doesn't look that great. They have a hole at first, they have a hole at catcher. There are a lot of problems for Texas, and Texas seemed like that team that they kept letting all these big free agents walk. They lost Cliff Lee. Okay, they've been all right since then. But Josh Hamilton might be that one free agent that they could not afford to lose. Because if you look at their other big bats in this lineup, Adrian Beltre's getting a little up there in age. Nelson Cruz has never been able to stay healthy. Ian Kinsler is not happy right now. And you're putting a lot of pressure on a guy like Jurickson Profar to come up next year and be an immediate superstar. And that could fluster his confidence and ultimately ruin him as a player.
I wouldn't say it would ruin Jurickson Profar as a player. Now, Jurickson Profar, a really talented prospect. I think he's going to fit in well, but I'm not a fan at all about, the Texas Rangers moving Kinsler to first base. But if that is to happen, I can see, like we talked about this also before that we made this video, the Texas Rangers are going to, we both have a gut feeling that the Texas Rangers will be getting really desperate trying to add depth to their outfield, which, like you said, does not have a lot of depth, not naming Nelson Cruz, who is an amazing outfielder. But Craig Gentry over in center field, there was a lot of rumors involving the Texas Rangers and the Arizona Diamondbacks about Justin Upton. Now, I can see a deal that will go down as sending Elvis Andrus to the Diamondbacks for Justin Upton. I think that can work out both ways.
I think actually an option, and Justin Upton could work out, but the problem is he can't play center field. He's in right field, you already have another right fielder, and you begin to question, people aren't sure about Justin Upton, maybe Mike Olt in the long run is going to be better for your team. I think it is very likely at this point that we see Nick Swisher head to Texas, because not only can he play right field, but he has the ability to step in and play first base.
Yeah. No problem about that, because Nick Swisher can play first baseman, he can play center field, but I'm still predicting, I still have a gut feeling that Nick Swisher is going to be going to the Cleveland Indians, who still need somebody out in that center field, so that could be a big option.
Either way, though, the Rangers are going to need to find somebody else. Upton's not moving to center. Nick Swisher's probably not going to play center. So the Rangers are going to need to find someone, and it's probably not going to be a great option at this point because they've waited out the market, and basically they're left screwed at this point.
Yeah, but Nick Swisher does bring something very great to the play. I mean, he can hit for power. I mean, he can play multiple positions. That's something that they really need. So, don't count out the Rangers to go out and sign Nick Swisher. I think that was a great point you brought up, Tim.
Yeah, I think the issue either way, though, is even if they sign Nick Swisher, you're either going to be talking about having to maybe give Nelson Cruz a look in center, maybe give David Murphy a look in center field. Either way, though, Craig Gentry's probably going to get a decent amount of playing time because for the at least first half of the season, you're going to be talking about a platoon situation. Guys like Shane Victorino, they're off the market. You really do not have a ton of options except one guy, and that is Michael Bourne, who's still available, and I completely forgot about this name throughout this whole video, is that Michael Bourne is an option for the Texas Rangers as well.
Yeah, but Michael Bourne is offering too much money to come to any team because that's what's keeping him still on the market right now. This guy's asking for too much of a high price. I don't know if it's up in the 150s or 160s. I don't know for sure, but his asking price is just way too much. I know he wants to sign with a final team, having him for a long term. But you know what? It's just the salary that he's asking for is just keeping him on the market right now. But I feel really confident that maybe the Texas Rangers and the Cleveland Indians can have a showdown for Nick Swisher, because even though Nick Swisher is not even close to signing to a team yet, is what was reported, I think that the Texas Rangers will be in for Nick Swisher.
And Michael Bourne wants about 80 to 90 million. I think at the end he'll probably get about 70 million because there's no other team that needs him. The Rangers need a center fielder right now, and Michael Bourne could very well be that option. They certainly have the money to go do it. We'll see. The name hasn't come up right now. People seem to have forgotten. Another smaller option like Andres Torres. He went back to the Giants today, so we really do not know who else besides Michael Bourne is an option at center field. They're going to have to look into the trade market potentially. I think Michael Bourne or Nick Swisher, potentially both, could end up with the Texas Rangers. Torrey Hunter is disgusted at the Angels because he put out a tweet a little bit earlier talking about how Artie Moreno, the owner of the team, had said that they were tight on money, and that's why they were going to let Torrey Hunter go. He said that he understands it's a business, but you have to be honest. In the end, Justin, I have no issue with him saying that. Torrey Hunter's getting up there in age. They decided to move on, and you can't say, you know what, we're going to let you go, we're going to sign Josh Hamilton. That's not what you do. You let him go, and it's done.
Well, this tweet thing just came new to me right now, but, you know, like you said, Torrey Hunter is getting up there in age, and he's coming to the Texas Rangers, the Detroit Tigers team, which, you know, they weren't really accomplished in the World Series. I mean, really disappointing ending to the season for the Detroit Tigers. But you know what? He's gonna bring something special to that team. He left something very special also with the Angels. You know, what can you say now, Torrey? I mean, later on, I just pulled up his Twitter feed. He goes, I'm not upset, just have fun with it. Now he's at least he's signed with the team, you know?
Yeah, I mean, he's going to a team that has a very good chance to compete right now with the Detroit Tigers, so I don't think, you know, if these two teams meet in the playoffs, which is a very real possibility, he is going to want to beat them either way. Ryan Dempster, a former Texas Ranger who had a great first half of the year with the Cubs, then got traded to the Texas Rangers and had a horrendous rest of the season with them. He is going to sign with the Boston Red Sox. This is a move for the Red Sox. I really don't understand what direction they're headed in after trading all these guys like Adrian Gonzalez and Carl Crawford away. All of a sudden they're overpaying for veterans like Napoli and Shane Victorino. But the Ryan Dempster deal, it's a lower risk, high reward type deal. I think worst case scenario, it doesn't work out, but you didn't pay him a ton. Best case scenario, he gets you a lot of innings, and he can give you an ERA between about 360 and 380.
I'm all in for this dude for Ryan Dempster. It just adds another pitcher to their pitcher rotation. But this team has got to come out and look at their other open slots on the team, such as the center field. The depth in center field is right now is just Jacoby Ellsbury. You signed Johnny Gomes to play left, and you also got Victorino and right. But you know, you can really look at Ryan Kalish and also Daniel Nava. I mean, Daniel Nava and Kalish both had really productive seasons right there. But you know what? They still got to add more depth. Another veteran, you know, free agent type of player to come to this team. It could be a possibility. But also the first baseman role. If Mike Napoli does not officially sign with the Boston Red Sox, their first baseman role is wide open. I think Gomez is, I think his last name is Gomez. I don't know his first name, but that's the best that they can do at first base, and I think they should really try and acquire or try to sign.
Yeah, that's a decent idea. All right, the final move we're going to discuss, obviously Mike Napoli, it sounds like that deal's going to go through. There were some issues, but Ben Sherrington just confirmed that the deal is going to go through. There were some issues, undisclosed issues. We really don't know what they were, but the deal will go through. Ichiro today turned down a few other offers, including, according to Buster Olney, a 2-year, $14 million deal with the Philadelphia Phillies. He will sign a 1-year extension with the New York Yankees. Justin, I know he had another offer from the Phillies, but I think Ichiro is happy in New York, and this is a move that made the most sense, and how that's coming from a Phillies fan.
Well, it's great because he's coming back to the Yankees, which he still has an opportunity to go back to the playoffs, because he hasn't gotten a lot of playoff time with the Seattle Mariners. Almost said the Seahawks there, but with the Seattle Mariners, he went to the Yankees, came to the playoffs, really stepped it up last year. during his part with the New York Yankees. He's more than likely to be starting in right field. You got Granderson in center. You got the returning Brett Gardner in left. Ichiro Suzuki, even at his age, this guy is still pulling off, 200 hits a year. I mean, he's still a great, phenomenal outfielder. This is a must-keep for the New York Yankees. Even though they still have a couple more spots open, you got Kevin Youkilis, I'm sorry, Jason Varitek there. You got Kevin Youkilis coming in at third base, and then you got the still questionable at shortstop. Will Jeter be 100%? Will he even be ready for opening day? But you know what? They're going into their outfield. They don't have Nick Swisher anymore. Ichiro going to be playing right.
I think it's a perfect move. I think Ichiro, with that short right field porch, will hit 15 to 20 home runs, probably top out in his career power numbers next year. It's late in his career, and look, he has the best chance. He has a better chance, I think, to win a World Series with the New York Yankees than with the Phillies. Both teams are certainly playoff contenders, but my guess is that he has a better chance to win in New York. And remember, Ichiro's from Japan. He's not in a situation where he's anywhere near where he's from, so he wants to, A, be in the place where he has the best chance to compete, and B, if he doesn't have to move again, then really he's not likely to do so. That's our big thoughts on today's MLB moves. Obviously, Josh Hamilton, the biggest one. Justin, just a crazy day, and this has been a fun off-season in the MLB.
Absolutely, man. There's still a lot of free agents out there on the market that could really potentially help other teams, like players I really want to look at that has not been getting any rumor mills at all. Carlos Pena, former of the Rays. Ty Wigginton, one of my favorite players, even though a lot of people are not a fan of him. I'm just going to name those two off the top of my head. I think those two guys still have a lot of potential to help other teams out.
And I think the next two that are going to be signed, now that Hamilton signed, are Cody Ross and Nick Swisher. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Michael Bourne, obviously, is still out there as well. So I think now that we've seen the big outfielder off the market, we'll see the next three guys go off as well. I'm Tim, he's Justin. This is the Real Sports Talking Nation Sports Blog. We'll see you later.
Just a little bit around the corner from fear. Be there